Welcome to Community Close-Up. My name is Sharen Skelly and I'm your host. And today we are featuring lacrosse and everything you need to know about lacrosse in the city of Owen Sound. Our guests today are Adam McKeachnie and Randy Jackson, both experts in the field and volunteers, I believe, with the North Stars franchise. So we'll start with Adam. You are the president of the North Stars. Now it's the Junior B North Stars?
The Senior B North Stars.
Senior B North Stars. And Randy, you are the past president and assistant general manager of the Senior B North Stars. I knew I'd make a mistake somewhere. Now, but the North Stars is a franchise throughout the city, correct?
That's
so
correct.
That there's junior teams playing, and now the Senior B is a rep team.
Yeah, we're men's league exclusively. Our minor teams are also the North Stars.
Right. Now, there's a really special celebration this year because we are recognizing 50 years of the North Stars Lacrosse in Owen Sound. So that's something to be proud of, and it's pretty much run on the backs of volunteer hours and you know, I guess parents parents coming in, and then the dedication of the athletes too, that really are dedicated to the sport. So having said that, there must be some sort of recognition during the next while for that 50th anniversary, and so we'll say in 1967 the North Stars were created. So what kind of celebrations do you have? Who wants to start?
I will. What we're doing June 17th is it's the Owen Sound Heritage Classic. That'll feature all the minor teams from all over Ontario, including a doubleheader between ourselves and the Kitchener Kodiaks at 4 o'clock that afternoon, as well as a game for the Junior Bs that evening. We are basically having a lacrosse day in Owen Sound. Owen Sound is going to promote lacrosse on the 17th for us, as well as July the 8th. We do a home-and-home game with Ennismore, July 8th and 9th. And we're also featured as one of the events in the 150th Canada's birthday that weekend.
Celebrations. Very good. So you said there that was the 17th of June, which is Lacrosse Day.
Correct.
And so there'll be games all over. You said not just the city, but in the area, right?
Yeah. Teams play out of Meaford, Port Elgin, Shell Lake. I think they're the four main ones, I believe. So
So now these teams are the teams that are part of the North Stars franchise, or are they teams that play in other leagues that'll be coming to challenge the North Stars?
It's they're minor lacrosse teams. They'll come as far as Burlington, all over Ontario.
All right.
So.
And how did that come that you were having Lacrosse Day here? Was that something that Owen Sound decided upon, or was that something that was a provincial initiative?
We sat down with the city of Owen Sound, and we've recognized the fact that we need to make lacrosse a little bit more visible in our community. We've been able to recruit some great players. We've also developed our own great players, and we need to recognize that a little bit more. So what we decided to do this year, which is different from any other year, is have this doubleheader with the Junior B team during the minor tournament. So it's just a great day to get out and promote lacrosse.
Right. And some of the younger players, when they're not playing, can go and to catch a game. So was there any city funding for this day? Or just support?
More support.
It's more support. I say that's basically what we rely upon is support from the people of Owen Sound and surrounding areas. Basically, we have no major sponsor, so we get out there and we put together a program that's very well put together, and people this year have stepped up massively. But we still have room in there for more to come.
So if anyone is interested in sponsoring, they can just call you. All the numbers are on the screen. You have a website, you have Facebook, and it would be under, if they were looking for any way to contact you at all about anything, would they contact the Senior B, or would they contact just generally the North Stars Lacrosse?
If they want to contact us directly, everything that's listed on the Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, as well as our website.
So it's North Stars Lacrosse?
Yes.
Okay. That's for anything to do with lacrosse, minor sports?
Just for the senior team.
Just for the senior team, okay. So you mentioned funding and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that are required for someone who's entering into lacrosse, like there is for any sport. I wouldn't say necessarily a lot. Probably not as much as hockey.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are a few things. Jerseys.
Oh, definitely. We have
yes.
uniforms, we have travel expenses, we have floor time, we have equipment costs, we have hotel costs, you know, our players,
Yeah.
referees,
Yeah.
timekeepers,
Yeah.
our players, they come from out of town, so they incur a lot of expense as well.
So if it's not covered by their registration fee, it's covered out of their pocket.
Yeah, like there's no registration for the senior level. It's
No.
just players are coming up to play because they are still passionate about playing lacrosse.
They're recruited or
Exactly.
whatever.
We try to recruit from other centers.
Yep.
Orangeville, Barrie, the center of Wellington area has been good for the North Stars as well as our local guys too. So.
Yeah.
So 50 years in the city of Owen Sound that we've had lacrosse. Now
Yeah.
lacrosse is one of the
Yeah.
core sports, I suppose you would say. So can you tell me a little bit about the history of the North Stars? I know you said at one point it was the Woodsmen. For a short period of time it was the Woodsmen.
It was. It had been away for a while. And then a group got together in 2000 and started the Senior B back up again. And carried on as a Woodsman until I believe it was either 2010, 2011. And at that point, the Woodsmen kind of came to the end of their progress that they had done. They had won 6 or 7 Ontarios, 2 Canadians. So at that point in time, it's just time to say, okay, let's move this to the North Stars and we'll fit in with everybody else again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
And to add to that, I think it was about that time too, Randy, that the entire Owen Sound adopted it as the North Stars.
Yeah.
Our junior team used to be a different team. They've been assignmen, the
Exactly.
Dutchmen. So I think it was
yes, I've heard that.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
a collective to come
Yeah.
together and say, you know, let's return back to kind of our roots, to the
Exactly.
North Stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sort of consolidate everything.
Exactly.
That's right.
Now your team, the league actually has 6 teams.
Yes.
So can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, we play Kitchener, Oakville, Six Nations, Ennismore, and Brooklyn. And Kitchener is a new team in this year, actually. We did see the folding of Wallaceburg last year, a team that we played quite often right off the beginning of the season. But for us, it's a lot of travel. We're the most northern team that there is. We draw a lot, like I said, Orangeville, Barrie, because they're the closest centers to us southwise. But we do most of our closest games 2 hours, 3 hours away. So.
Yeah.
So you do have a lot of travel, and that would be a lot of expense too.
Correct.
There
Yeah.
again, the sponsors.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
So when we come back from our break, I'd like to talk a little bit more about the team itself and some of the players and how the standings you've had and your successes, a lot of successes in the past years.
Yeah.
So that'll be what we talk about when we return to Community Close-Up. Welcome back to Community Close-Up. We're here with the executive of the North Stars Lacrosse, and we were talking about the league itself before the break. So can you tell us a little bit more about your team and the makeup of the team? Where do they come from? Are they local? Ages? That's another thing too.
We do have local players. But we don't have enough. So we go outside of Owen Sound and draw players in. We're to a point right now where players are lining up wanting to come here right now and play.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, it is. It's very good news.
I don't know that any coach would be too sad to hear that.
Oh, most definitely not. Most definitely not.
Yeah.
And we have a new coach this year in Stu Gordon, who's originally from Owen Sound but went to the Kitchener area. So he has connections there as well of young guys and whatnot that are saying, I'd love to come here and play.
Well, that really is great news.
It is. It is.
Which tells you the caliber of the team you have, the leadership you have, and, well, of course, the history. If you have a 50-year history, you've been consistent.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
that's kudos to you. So the players, how do you recruit them, though? Like, do they have to, well, maybe like any kind of recruitment for any kind of sports team, don't they have to go through you know, training and training camp or whatever.
This weekend is the start of our training camp. Our training camp opens up this weekend, and it runs every weekend for the month of April. So what we do is we try to recruit players, overage junior A players, overage junior B players, as well as players that maybe have been out of the game, who've quit playing major, who are looking for something, maybe a little less commitment in the summertime. So they come and play with Owen Sound. Senior B League actually ran a poll on which team they think would win the Senior B Ontario Championship this year, and the North Stars were the favorite to win.
Oh, that's
so like Randy had touched
Yeah.
on, you know, we do have a lot of players from around Ontario that are looking to come here on top of the ones we've already recruited and retained from last year.
Yeah.
So we're shaping up to have a young team this year, but definitely a very competitive team.
Very impressive. So when you said young, you said the age was 22?
22 and over, and the majority of
Yeah.
our players actually this year are 25 and younger, and some of them are actually reaching, you know, the second, third year of the team this year. So we're really depending on those guys to step up and lead this team this year, because we don't necessarily have the veteran players that we used to.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that this particular team has no sponsor?
We have no major sponsor. What we do is we
No.
approach multiple sponsors
Yeah.
throughout the city, which we've found a little bit of success in, as well as it gives kind of a buy-in for the entire city. That when we say Owen Sound North Stars are the city's team, we really are the city's team.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, hearing all of this and putting it all together, yes, you are the city's lacrosse team.
Yep.
You represent Owen Sound in the league. And, so we could use that information.
Oh,
definitely,
you know,
definitely.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely.
Okay, so let's talk about the schedule. I've got a poster here.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who wants to
sure.
show it. We're going to show the poster. I don't know if we can, if that's okay.
Yeah.
When someone has time, they can put the camera on. Okay.
Sure.
We have the home opener. Can you tell us about the home opener?
Okay, our home opener is going to be May 13th versus the Six Nation Rivermen. Six Nations has always been a good opponent of ours. They're always usually rough games. They're usually competitive games, and Six Nations is generally the top of the league every year. So it's going to be a good test for our team this year, right off the get-go. We've got lots of things planned for that game, so we're looking for the community to come out and support lacrosse.
Okay.
If you haven't seen the game before, definitely, you know,
All right.
it's a good
Okay,
opportunity.
so on this poster you have admission and the cost of the tickets. Where can you get tickets if you wanted to?
It's just directly at the door. We don't issue. We've got season tickets for sale right now at our 50th year promotional rate of $50. That gets you 8 games.
That's a deal.
Yes, definitely. And we wanted to promote people attending our games as much as possible. So if you look, obviously our admission is nothing comparable to, you know, OHL, things like that. So it's definitely an affordable night out, especially with the kids. All kids 12 and under are free with an adult. So, you know, it's good cheap entertainment for the weekend.
Yeah.
Now, all your home games are played at the Bay Shore.
That's right, yeah.
With the bit of an exception, and there's a bit of uncertainty this year because we have such good sports teams, lacrosse and hockey and soccer. The Attack are doing so well. We don't know if they'll be playing or what the future holds.
We don't.
Yeah.
know
So
that.
we'll just sort of say the home opener's there then, and if there's a change, you have the website to check.
Definitely.
You know, so
and we'll
if
make
you're
people.
a fan
we'll
and
make
you
that
wanna
very
know,
public.
You know, because
very
we're
public.
hearing about the Attack all the time, and we'll be hearing about you all the time.
Correct. Correct.
Good to know. Also, Rogers is involved quite a lot with the lacrosse. They do the television recording of the broadcasting of the games. So all the home games are
our live broadcast,
Right.
Including into the playoffs. As well, this year we're going to be broadcast on radio for 4 games with 93.1 with some guys, Steve Fitzsimmons of the OHL Guelph Storm. He's going to be doing the play-by-play for us this year, just for the four games so far.
Yeah.
And as well, Rogers features North Stars Noise for us, which is an up and personal kind of close-up of the team. And some of the players, like we had mentioned, are from out of town, so we want people to be able to kind of get to know those guys, as well as some of our hometown guys that have, you know, been the core of this organization.
Yeah.
So where can you find the North Stars Noise?
You can find that on our website at www.ossrbnorthstars.com or on Rogers.
On Rogers' website, yes. Roger's YouTube channel, you can find that. And those are all really great ways to promote the interest in the team too.
Yeah.
So you can watch it on television, you can go and see them live, you can get some updated information, and as you say, a little bit more personal information about the team and details that you wouldn't normally know, and you can find that on the YouTube channel. So now we'll get back to the history of the team. You said 50 years, so that started way back in '67.
That's right.
And what can you tell us? Do you have a little sort of memorabilia? Do you have memorabilia about the earlier teams, or anywhere that people could see that? Is that anywhere in the...
We've been featuring it quite a bit actually on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. If you go on there, on any of those profiles, you'll see plenty of pictures dating back to juvenile teams back to 1936. Yeah. Obviously, we weren't the North Stars back then. We've been the Crescents. We've been multiple different names at that point. But like you said, 1967 was when the North Star name came to Owen Sound, based on the actual Minnesota North Stars. So
yes, what's the story behind that? Someone...
it was George Watson and their group at that time were looking to do a name change, and one name they kind of played around with was the Owen Sound Captains, after Captain Owen.
Right.
But then the Minnesota North Stars started as well in the NHL that year, and I think they kind of liked the idea, the logo.
Yeah, exactly.
So it kind of took off from there, and the North Stars began. Definitely. And being the most northern city, basically, that runs senior or major lacrosse. You know, I think the North was a big part of that name. So
great. So, do you have any plans to memorialize any of these photos or things that you have posted on Facebook? Do you have?
Definitely.
Like, to put them anywhere, like I don't know. There's the Hall of Fame over at the Bayshore.
Which there are some players in that. Like Mark Kazarian's in there. You know, past championship teams that have won as well are in there as well.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back from our break, we're going to talk about the successes that you've enjoyed with the team, and we'll get into some details about who is on the team this year when we come back from break here on Community Close-Up. Welcome back to Community Close-Up, and we're talking about lacrosse. And during the break, I was mentioning how I liked this jersey, and I didn't realize this is like the initial viewing of this new jersey. So can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've ran on pretty strict budgets over the years, you know, and it's taken guys like Randy and other guys on the team, Mike McLeod, Tyler Gibbons, Adam Jackson, that have kind of made this kind of keep going and kept this going. So what we recognized was we needed to get some new jerseys this year. So new this year, we've kind of went back to the orange, and we went back with the stars on the sides. Now, one thing with the stars is you'll notice is there's 6 stars, and that's for the 6 President Cups, which are national championships that Owen Sound has brought back as the Owen Sound Woodsmen and as the Owen Sound North Stars.
Great to know. Yeah. So this was quite an achievement. So now, talking about the championships you've won, let's go back to the successes that the North Stars have achieved. Tell us a little bit about those, because it sounds like well, they are an excellent team and filled with great athletes and a lot of enthusiasm and dedication. So tell us a bit about that.
As going back as far as when we started, I'm honestly not that up to date on that one. Because I basically came involved in 2001 with the Woodsman team. And with the Woodsman team, we won it was either 6 or 7 Ontarios and then 2 Canadian championships. But you know, previously to that, with the North Stars, they were well up there. You know, we got 2 stars on here or 6 stars on here. So obviously 4 of them belong to the North Stars. Yeah, the senior North Stars, the older ones, right? So
and countless numbers of Ontario championships as well. And what's unique about Owen Sound was we've also played in the Major Lacrosse League, which is a league above the Senior Lacrosse League.
Exactly.
And in 1951, actually, Owen Sound, their initial year in the league, it won the Mann Cup that year, which is probably one of the biggest lacrosse titles Canada can win. So, you know, this has been a well-celebrated team in Owen Sound, that's for sure.
Well, there's a book to be written here somewhere. If there hasn't been,
it would take a bit of time, but it could be done.
Yes,
it could be
really,
done.
there
yes.
is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, our color commentator is Mr. Juniper, I believe,
Yep.
and he has history with the North Stars, doesn't he? He has. He's been with them since the 70s.
Yep.
Yeah, he was,
I would
the
say
executive.
around there. I would say around there.
So-
Glenn was a big part of kind of when they got going to keep them going. Say very much involved. Very much involved.
So if you're listening to the broadcast, you're getting excellent information too. He has
Yeah.
historical
Oh, for sure.
information to add with what's going on, also with the action on the floor.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, you said that there were two kinds of lacrosse, and I knew there was field lacrosse, but what's the name of box?
Box
Box
lacrosse.
that's what I-
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've talked about that, you must be doing fundraising because I mean we all need money and every team needs money. So what
Yeah.
are the fundraisers you have planned?
Right now we have a pool tournament that we're setting up, which is for
April 22nd.
April 22nd, and it is at
Harvey's Billiards.
Harvey's Billiards.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we're in the midst right now of putting together our year-end golf tournament, which will be, I believe, around August 19th.
And where will that be?
It'll be held at Scenic City Golf Course
Okay,
right now.
all right.
Yeah.
So all that information would be on your website, Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah,
So we're talking about a pool tournament
Yeah,
and a golf
tournament.
Yeah. And those are your major fundraisers?
Those are right now. We also usually run a bus trip to a Toronto Rock game in the winter, which we did well this year
Yeah,
in January.
early January.
Adam Jones, who is a product of Owen Sound minor lacrosse, plays for the Saskatchewan Rush,
Yeah.
and it was the first time Adam had been back in Toronto to play in a few years. And I know there was several folks that went down to that game
Yeah.
with our group as well with other groups.
Yeah.
He's a sensational player. Him and Robbie Hillier, you know, they are lighting up that NLL league, and they're products of Owen Sound, which we're very
Great.
proud of.
Yeah.
Great. Just a personal note, my nephew's one of the athletic therapists for the Toronto Rock. He's
Oh, yeah.
down there.
Oh, wow.
A Southampton boy.
Oh,
So he's
nice.
out down doing that.
Oh, wow.
So we have lots of people around the
Yeah,
area that are
most
interested in
definitely.
lacrosse.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I know a lot of people go down to the city to watch those games,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
let's encourage them to come and watch
Well,
these
and
games
exactly.
too.
We'd love to have
Okay.
them. The door's open.
So this helmet we have here, I don't want to close the show before we mention this. This is, you said new?
Yes, new this year, our goaltender, Tyler Glebe, he actually comes to us from the Kitchener area. We acquired Tyler in a trade or a dispersal draft when the Wallaceburg team folded. So he's back on board this year. He's going to be a huge part of our team this year and was a huge part of our success last year. So this is the helmet that we've had done up for him this year.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And looks expensive.
Oh, definitely, definitely, very.
So we have a couple other goalies that'll probably want to get them done too. And
Up close and personal, I've never seen
Yeah.
anything quite like this,
Yeah.
and it does look very nice, very safe, but very expensive. So there you go
Definitely.
again,
Definitely.
the
Yeah.
costs. So I suppose we really need to encourage people in Owen Sound to support the team,
Yeah.
and another thing is to get children, young people, involved in lacrosse,
Yeah.
because that's where we get the interest as they mature. And so you said that on the one of the weekends, was it
June 17th.
June 17th,
Yeah.
the actual team is going to be there at some of the events for the younger players to interact with
Yeah.
Yes.
and get to know them and maybe spark some interest in, not just doing this as one summer kind of
That's right.
something to spend time on doing, something that they can continue doing perhaps, through high school. And
Exactly, and it's a goal. I know as a young player myself, and I'm sure Randy can echo it for his kids that played growing up minor. You always wanted to be a North Star. You always wanted to be on that North Stars team.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of where we're getting back to. We're including the kids. Kids are free under 12 to come to our games. And we do that purposely because we want to expose the game to those kids because it's a great game, and especially developmentally for hockey in the summertime. It's a different sport. You had NHLers like Wayne Gretzky. Adam Oates actually played in Port Elgin for a senior team at one time.
Yeah.
All the big hockey players, all the main name hockey players played lacrosse in the summertime.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
did
there's
not
a
know
fair
that.
few of them.
Well, you
There's a
can
fair
see
few.
the sort of the connections between the two sports.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So just have a minute or so. Do you have anything that you wanted to get the news out to the viewers?
We just want everybody to be aware that, you know, our home opener, May 13th, obviously watch our website, watch our social media for updates, but it's going to be a Six Nations showdown. You know, it's going to be a good test for our team that year. It'll be our second game of the season. We do open up May 6th in Kitchener. We just want everybody to be out and get involved and you know, come and cheer on our hometown boys. Like we said, this is Owen Sound's team, so you know what I mean. Let's get out and show everybody.
And
we're
going to be ready to go.
And
we will be ready to go.
They were last year. You said they finished.
We tied for third in the regular season, but we went to the
semifinals
semifinals of the playoffs last year.
And they're a favorite this year.
We're the
So they
favorite.
say
also,
training camp.
Also going to the semifinals last year, we played Brooklyn, and Brooklyn went on to represent Ontario at the President's Cup, and Owen Sound was the only team to beat Brooklyn.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah.
So we hope to hear really great things about the team this year. Thank you very much for coming on, and do support the team and join us again on Community Close Up. Remember, it's your community, so take part.